I'm back for another video. I made it. Yeah, I thought this video I would make kind of instinctively. I mentioned in my first video how I always found it really fascinating learning about new cultures, and yeah, I felt like when I lived in Mexico I acquired some really cool things from there, and I thought I could do a video in which I kind of recount the things that I bought and the significance they have in that culture, but also the significance they have for me. I have a trusty bag here of Frida Kahlo. I guess this could be the first object actually. It's quite battered now, but for anybody who doesn't know, Frida Kahlo is a Mexican artist. She's a female artist, and yeah, she became very famous worldwide really. And I don't know too much about her art, but what I do know is that she did a lot of portraiture. I think she was quite controversial for the time because I think she was quite feminist, and she kind of had quite a masculine look, but then would dress in quite traditional dresses, and yeah, I think it was quite a provoking image. And she also just had very strong views and opinions, and obviously a woman having strong views and opinions ruffles feathers, but yeah, she's a really cool woman, and that reminds me that I need to learn more about her. If you are in Mexico, you can go to her house. It's in Coyoacan, which is a part of Mexico City, and yeah, it's really cool because you can kind of see all of the different clothes she wore. You can like walk around her garden and her bedroom and things like that. I think the clothes are the coolest part because she just had these like really ornate dresses, and yeah, they just look fantastic. Okay, so the first thing that I've pulled out of my magic bag is this fan. As you can see, it's doing its thing. I picked this out in a market in Puerto Escondido, which is located in Oaxaca, and it's kind of like a beach town. And yeah, I just picked it out because it's like super beautiful, the colours are amazing. In Mexico they have like really just like colours everywhere. I was really inspired by that because in England there's lots of more muted colours, like the houses are white or brown or grey, whereas in Mexico everything is multicoloured. I think this is quite interesting because after I bought it I realised that, like, if you can see here, it's made of sellotape, and then if you look at the back you can actually kind of see all of this delicate work, but you can also see that originally, maybe you can see there, it was originally a branch from a tree. And I just thought that was really interesting because one of the things that I learned while I was in Mexico and appreciated was just how ingenious people were. It was a bit more difficult to earn money there, and I think therefore people kind of came up with ingenious ways to kind of like start their own businesses and make money. So I think the fact that, for example, this person, whoever made it, has kind of picked up a branch of a tree and then decided to fashion something really beautiful like this really speaks a lot about how people in Mexico just know how to get the most out of things or be creative in terms of finding solutions to stuff. And I always felt really inspired by that in Mexico. Also in this marketplace I picked up this tiny little sombrero which is really cute, and yeah, I guess you just put it on your table, and it's got all of these lovely little kind of wooden straws coming out of it, and yeah, it's just super sweet. Another thing I picked up were these really cool holders. I mean, I'm gonna put pencils and pens and things like keys into these, and yeah, they're just really nice. If you look at the colours, this one's like a kind of pink and turquoise, and then this one is a blue and white, and they're just really intricate and have these kind of small patterns on them. And yeah, again, in Mexico there's just colours everywhere, so I love how that just kind of like brightens up spaces. And yeah, just it, for some reason, like makes me feel happy when I see these bright colours around. So this is a cool thing. It looks like a kitchen towel, and it's got this really beautiful, yeah, like tapestry kind of feel to it. It's got this lovely like kind of straw interweaven thread, and then all of these different vibrant colours. They're in a more softer thread. And yeah, interestingly, this isn't actually a kitchen towel. What people tend to do is they'll kind of heat up some tortillas on their stoves, and then they'll put the tortillas inside this and kind of wrap the tortillas in this thing to keep them warm. And yeah, I've been doing that ever since. For example, if I make tacos or if I make fajitas, and I can just keep them warm, and it also just looks really, really beautiful. Okay, the next things that I've got are I wonder if you can tell, they're lime squeezers, and I got these in a market in Mexico City, and yeah, I mean, what can I say? They're good for squeezing lime on whatever dishes you like. Lime is a huge ingredient in Mexico. It's really good on tacos. People kind of put it also inside sauces. It's usually just kind of like on a pot on the side of on a pot on a table, and you can just take it and add lime to whatever you like. But yeah, lime and chili is really big in Mexico, and I've definitely been missing it a bit since I came back home, because I just got so used to eating spicy foods all the time. And yeah, I think this kind of tells me a story as well, because I think I really learned in Mexico to appreciate food, and I think I just really appreciated their gastronomy and the way that they perceived food and how they valued it. So I think, you know, maybe some people didn't have that much, but they always devoted so much time to making a delicious meal and making those everyday moments, be it in the morning or just going for a snack for lunch, really incredible, because there's just such a big variety and there's so many different street stalls and everything. So yeah, I just really liked how they valued everything that you eat needs to be delicious. It doesn't necessarily need to be healthy, whereas in England we're like the opposite. It's like, I feel like we prefer more healthy things than the taste, and I think that speaks a lot about how different our cultures are. For example, how in England we're more maybe like logical and sensible, but sometimes we kind of forget the fun and like the appreciation or like the moment of, yeah, like making something really beautiful and special. Whereas in Mexico maybe it's not as healthy or sensible, but they really value those moments. I don't know if you bared with me with that one, but yeah. Okay, so this is another one. It's some coffee beans, and these coffee beans are from a farm which is in San Pedro, which is like a kind of mountain hill-based town near to Puerto Escondido. And if you look on the packet, you can see all of two women in these kind of like traditional garments harvesting coffee, and the brand is called Finca Las Nieves, and yeah, I believe Bourbon Lavado is like the kind of coffee that it is, but this coffee has won numerous awards in Mexico, and yeah, I mean, this coffee is made with so much love, so I wanted to mention it. What they do is they really are careful about selecting which beans to put in. Any beans which aren't like of a super high standard, they won't put into these kind of packets. And yeah, they don't really sell much. They're not like a kind of like mass-produced brand, so you're not really going to find them in many places. But I think that's probably because they are such perfectionists, and they want to make sure that every single bag they produce is absolutely delicious. And yeah, Puerto Escondido originally used to be a kind of, I think coffee was one of its main industries. It's not so much anymore, but there are still some amazing farms there. And yeah, I mean, needless to say, the coffee is really delicious. If you are there, I really recommend that you go to a place called Café, and my friend runs it, and yeah, she makes delicious coffee, and she's also a lovely person. The next thing in my bag of tricks is this, I believe they use this to drink mezcal. Mezcal is one of Mexico's most famous drinks. I believe it originates from Oaxaca, and in Mexico it's quite common to have kind of like big gatherings of people, and they're called calendas, and then the people kind of like walk around the town, and yeah, they kind of like dance. There's usually a band playing, and people kind of have mezcal, and then they walk around the town and they share the mezcal in these kind of, well, I guess they're kind of like bottles. I think the most cool thing though is that this is kind of like a bottle from nature, so I believe it's kind of like maybe taken from a tree, or yeah, something like that. But it's kind of like a natural thing that somebody has carved out, and then out of that they have created a usable item. And it's kind of similar to what I said when I was referring back to these fans, how people are very ingenious and they kind of make use of what they have and they turn it into something that can be useful to them. And I just really admire that in the kind of Mexican spirit. So the next thing is another thing I picked up at this market. There's a current theme here. It's a little kind of mug that I bought, and it's got this kind of cool face. And yeah, it's made of, I can't remember what the term is, but it's kind of like a clay like quite a heavy material, and I just think it's really beautiful, like the colour of it. The face is quite sweet, and yeah, it's like the perfect size for an Americano or something in the morning. And yeah, I bought a few of these to kind of just leave in my house. So cute. And the final thing, no, it's not pea, is mezcal. This is actually mezcal, but it has maracuya, which is like a really delicious yellow fruit, and it's got all these black seeds in it, and it's got a really nice citrusy, sharp taste. And yeah, I haven't actually opened this yet. This was something that my suegras gave to me, and yeah, I just love the fact that it's like two really cool things combined. Mezcal is very popular, especially in Oaxaca, and yeah, it's really popular all over the world actually nowadays. But I think what's quite unique about it is it's something that you're not just meant to kind of shot down like tequila or vodka. You're actually meant to just like serve yourself a similar amount, but then you're meant to just kind of like sip at it, because it's all about savouring something as opposed to just kind of like downing it in 5 seconds and then being on to the next one. And yeah, I think that's like the end of this video. I thought it would be interesting to go through that stuff because, as I said at the beginning, cultures for me are really interesting, and I think we can learn so much from experiencing other cultures and being curious enough to look at the ways that they're different to our own cultures and question what, for example, objects can reveal about a certain culture or group of people. And yeah, I think it's always just good to ask questions in general, and I think through these objects we can actually learn a lot about, in this case, Mexico, but maybe the next time you're in a different country it would be interesting to look at the artifacts that are there and think about what they reveal about those people, and then you can appreciate the differences and also the similarities, and I think that just makes for a richer travel experience, but also like a personal experience, because then you can learn about different people, develop more empathy, and just kind of like open your mind. And I think that's really important and a beautiful thing in life that we can experience. But yeah, this is the end of the video. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.